Welcome back to the RugDoc YouTube channel. In today's news, the White House released details on a bipartisan infrastructure deal in an attempt to fix the deteriorating condition of America's transportation systems, communications networks, and electrical systems, along with other necessary long overdue updates. But when members of the U.S. Senate, along with the White House, released a draft of the bill, to the surprise of many, text has been added regarding information reporting on people using cryptocurrency. The American Society of Civil Engineers report card for America's infrastructure has, for the first time in over 2 decades, left the D range, giving the United States a score of a C- for an overall grade on infrastructure. Like many economies the world over, the U.S. was hit hard by COVID-19, and the U.S. government is looking to fix the economic woes of the U.S. along with taking care of much-needed infrastructure concerns. With the proposed bill, American jobs would be created in an effort to help America catch up with the rest of the world regarding infrastructure. Giving access to high-speed internet in economically challenged regions or more rural parts of the country can level the playing field for competition in the U.S. jobs market, as well as raise scores in education by providing opportunities to minority communities traditionally disadvantaged as a result of limited or no access to broadband internet. The Biden administration hopes to shorten what is commonly referred to as the digital divide. Now, if you're curious how cryptocurrency regulation made its way into what the White House has dubbed the Bipartisan Infrastructure and Investment Jobs Act, it's related to the collection of taxes. The total cost to American taxpayers is estimated at $1.2 trillion, and trying to find ways to pay for this have the U.S. lawmakers looking between the seat cushions. And language in the proposed bill fails to adequately define the term broker to the extent you, as a friend sending digital money over blockchain to another friend for personal use, may be responsible for reporting information on the recipient of those said funds. Not only does it not clearly define the term broker, but it also doesn't say that people under the age of 18 might be exempt from this rule or how they might be reported on as minors. So there's a few different complications. What's included in the bill is not a tax increase or a new proposed tax. Senator Rob Portman, Republican from Ohio, shoehorned a revenue source into the Jobs Act and defined it as better information reporting as a way to know who is interacting with a blockchain and having their personal information reported to the U.S. Treasury, making collection and enforcement easier and netting, according to Portman, an additional $28 billion. However, the confusing language has left fellow Republican members of Congress to speak out against the proposed revenue scheme as it literally is impossible. Senator Pat Toomey, Republican from Pennsylvania, called the broker definition too broad and the clause to be, quote, unworkable. Senator Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon, claimed he did not believe the junior senator from Ohio's plan understood how the technology works, which would imply the senator from Ohio, who submitted the proposal, also lacks said fundamental understanding. In his defense, Senator Portman made clarifying remarks to the Washington Post that legislation wouldn't force non-brokers, such as software developers and crypto miners, to comply with IRS reporting obligations. But one must wonder, if he's not intending to include those folks in the law, why not add that to the legislative text originally? The senator has committed to a colloquy on the floor to clarify these facts, but the text of the legislation is what is voted on and what Treasury is bound to by law. Now, I'm no lawyer, but a colloquy to understand intent comes from judicial review, which comes after people are in court, which comes after some harm has given them standing to bring action, or worse, facing criminal prosecution. It can also be argued that the language could be finessed at the Treasury Department for guidelines on enforcement and collections for the IRS. The problem here also lies in the fact that guidelines at Treasury don't require an act of Congress. And this means a political appointee overseeing the IRS would have the legal authority to apply these guidelines or laws however they see fit, and often do. The vagueness of the language can also be weaponized for collecting personal information. Privacy isn't about something to hide. Privacy is about having something to protect. After AT&T was identified as operating in the NSA's warrantless surveillance program after the Patriot Act weakened privacy laws and shielded the telecom giant from litigation, the Fourth Amendment argument regarding unreasonable search could have been made then as well as now, but arguments are made in court and by injured parties after the damage is done. One of the reasons regulators are mad is because the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency is doing its job. Doesn't matter what the senator from Ohio says or does, by design, miners won't be able to identify everyone using Bitcoin. It's designed to operate autonomously of human governance. But think of the inverse. What if the decentralized became a centralized cryptocurrency, and maybe not just off somewhere in China? Cryptocurrency needs regulation in a safe and pro-capitalist way that protects users and their privacy. The hasty manner in which this legislative text has been cobbled together when members of one's own party are scratching their heads should tell you all you really need to know about its merit. And legislating cryptocurrency tax and privacy law seems more suited to a full-throated debate in Congress on its own platform, where it can be brought up, scrutinized, and given time to be understood with transparency, not while trying to reorganize America's infrastructure with over $1 trillion on the line and simultaneously rushing to leave Washington for the August recess within the next week. If you're a voter in the U.S. and feel strongly that your privacy and personal information need to be protected from the very laws cryptocurrency was intended to rebuff, call your state senator or local U.S. representatives and tell them you don't want broad identification reporting laws like the one being offered by Senator Rob Portman of Ohio in the country's infrastructure bill. Tell them you agree with Senators Toomey and Wyden on their bipartisan rejection of the cryptocurrency information reporting requirements. Regulation is a double-edged sword, but let's wait until the folks in the room offering to write the laws understand how the technology itself works. There are several organizations you should follow to stay informed, and you may also consider supporting their causes to protect citizens in cryptocurrency and decentralized finance. Check out the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a nonprofit organization that dedicates themselves to defending digital privacy, free speech, and innovation. Find them at EFF.org for more information. And the Chamber of Digital Commerce is a lobbying association currently in contact with Senator Portman's office and is working on that word of the proposed information reporting language. Learn more about their organization here at digitalchamber.org. That's going to do it for us. I appreciate you checking this video out. If you're thinking about this from a standpoint of security and protecting your privacy, make sure you act on it. And make sure you check out RugDoc.io for more information and news coming out. And follow us on Twitter at RugDoc.io. So you're alerted anytime we have breaking news. We always throw a tweet out there for you. And thanks for watching this video. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.